go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another one. I'm Juby the Tubi. You're here with family above everything, and here we go. Bing bang. Mr. Fresh Prince right behind me. Career high 41 points. Let's get it. Shut me up. Gotta close my mouth on him. If only we can play Boston every single night, and or the teams with the opponent jerseys were green. As long as it's that, this man was unstoppable tonight, Mr. Fresh Prince 2.0, baby. And the man to my left, the man right over here, Mr. Julius Randle. Don't care what you got to say about his game. He's not listening to the media. He's not listening to the reporters. He's not listening to the fans. He knows what he got to do. He knows what it's about. And he's here to tell you, F your life, bing, bang. And this other guy that's over here, right there, Mr. RJ Barrett. Man, Mr. Broadway, bright lights himself, hits the game winner off the glass. I wish I was at that game tonight. I was watching the game at home. Wife and son was sleeping and had to control myself and not scream from all the excitement. And I felt like I was there at the Garden because I would have been running around screaming, losing my voice. But what a game. If only the Knicks in Boston can play every single night. Because, ladies and gentlemen, there's a new rivalry in town. And this is the rivalry that we want to talk about. It's not the Knicks and the Hawks. Forget about that. That was last season. This season, it's Knicks and Boston. That keeps us keeps us up on our seats. Because, man, I'm energized. I'm excited. I know my partner Zenray from Zenray Sports TV is going to come on here and talking to me smack about Mr. Fresh Prince because I give him a hard time about him and I wanted to ship him out of here. But listen, the man came through, 41 points, was unstoppable, was hitting his three, was creating. But these three guys right here, man, salute. All you guys get player of the night for me. Again, I'm Juby the Tubi. You're here with family above everything. And here we go. Bing, bang. Let's get it.
A double overtime or triple overtime win. And once again, another thrilling game to the end. It didn't look too good, but the Knicks, Juby, the Tubi, with Mr. Green himself, who bagged $19 million, who saw the green, decided to take up some green tonight against the Boston Celtics. And he had a career high 42 points in 41 minutes. And let's not forget Mr. Broadway, who at the end decided, I want some of this. Last second 3-point shot to win the game for the Knicks.
What's up, Zenray? Yeah, listen, Mr. Fresh Prince 2.0, man. He had me quiet tonight. I can't. If one we can play Boston every single night, this guy was unstoppable. His shot was going in. His creativity was going in. His confidence was in. His energy was there. I seen a different side of Evan Fournier tonight. And if he can produce these kind of numbers, then hey. And you said it, Mr. Broadway himself continues to show that he is that guy. He is Mr. New York. And he's here to play and he's here to stay. And let's not forget the man who stirs the drink, Mr. F Your Life. We're going to keep it clean, but F Your Life, bing bang. He don't care what the media has to say, what the fans have to say. He knows what he's about. He's going to go out there and do what he got to do. The man who stirs the drink, Julius Randle. Oh my God. If only we can play Boston every single night. Because, man, let me tell you, my wife and son was sleeping in the next room. And I wanted to scream and kick and punch and lose my voice. And I felt like I was at that Garden floor. And if I was there, I'm pretty sure I would have gone crazy too, man.
Let me tell you, it's the opposite effect. It's the first time my wife and I was watching the game, and my wife decided to come in the second half and watch the game. And let me tell you, she was like a good luck charm. And let me tell you, she was jumping all over the place.
Oh, we need her. We need her every single night to watch the game with you. Tell her.
Exactly, man. I have to have my wife every night, especially the second half toward the end of the game, or third, fourth quarter, because that's when the Knicks came alive. This is the first time I've seen Randall have so much energy? Because I text you about the first quarters,
You did.
beginning of the second quarter. I said this team has no energy. Randall and Barrett has no energy. What's going on? And if this continues, if it wasn't for Evan Fournier scoring his points, keeping this game kind of close, because 20 points is not close at one point, but they kept it close because of Evan Fournier. Then Randall had some energy. I mean, he bullied as well, way to the basket, get a yes and it counts. And he just told the reporters, F you. He was just saying F you to the crowd, like not in a negative way, but saying F you, like, come on, I'm the man who still stirs the drinks here. He came, I'm animated right now. My wife, I thank Eunice, my wife, for watching the game that second half. She's my good luck charm. And let me tell you about something, man. If this tandem, we spoke about the tandem of Randall and Barrett. If you just can include a little bit of sprinkle of Fournier, this team could be unstoppable. And Fournier showed me something. He played some defense. He got beat a couple of times, but yo, he was throwing his body. He was deflecting balls. And the only thing I didn't like toward the end, they were putting Tatum. He's doing Tatum one-on-one, and he played Tatum pretty good.
Yeah.
But I wish Barrett was more on him. But considering all-around victory for the whole Knicks team, they didn't need too much of the bench. I quickly came in and made some good shots.
I was just gonna say we can't. You're saying a sprinkle of Mr. Fournier of that dynamic duo. We can't forget the Mr. Quickly, who had 16 points tonight. And if it was not for him too in that second half, this game
Yeah.
could have been a total different way. So salute. Listen, oh my God, I don't even know where to begin. Like you said, we were texting a little bit at the beginning, saying that where's the energy. I was upset. I didn't want to get into it with you with the text messaging back and forth. I was like, you know what? Let me just relax. Let me just calm down, and let me not jinx anything. Especially when I started seeing the shots start going in and that lead getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I was ready to text you and be like, yo, are you watching this? But I was like, let me leave the universe alone. Let me not jinx nothing, and let the orange and blue skies evolve and happen. And that's exactly what happened, baby. So we came through. I'm super hyped, as you can see. I haven't been this animated and excited in a while, to be honest with you.
Hey, Juby, I'm excited as you are. This is a type of game that could propel us up to win more games and be more confident. I'm still concerned about the point guard, but tonight it seems like Burks was doing his thing in 37 minutes of play. He only had 3 points, but he had 9 rebounds and 7 assists. So he was turning the ball over. His shot wasn't going down, but you didn't need the shots to go down when you have a guy like Fournier and Randall and quickly supplying the points. And toward the end, Mr. Broder himself. So look, when a player is not there and not playing well, at least we have some ammunition. This is what we wanted to see from Fournier. That's why we give him the bag. If he can perform and give us half of the points and give us that defensive intensity he gave, and he had 8 rebounds as well.
Yeah.
Okay, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. He played probably the best Nick as a Nick since that first game in Boston. He played all around. His defense was extraordinary, better than he played that first game in Boston. Defense was a little lackadaisical, but he scored the points to back it up. But this game goes to Evan Fournier without a doubt. Randall number 2, and then quickly is then number 3, and then Barrett off with that number 4, a fantastic 4 with Barrett. If we can get this production from these 3 in the starting lineup, there's a lot of good things coming for the Knicks this year.
Absolutely. And this was Evan Fournier's best NBA career game. Career high. I don't think even in his Orlando Magic days and his Boston days that any team have seen this man do what he did the way he did it tonight. And that's what was so exciting that he did it. They asked him at the post game, was this a better game? Was this more exciting for him than his first game? And he said that first game still was more special to him. But they said that it seems like you like to play Boston, and he just kind of laughed and smirked it off. I agree. I think every team should wear, like you said, Ray, every team should wear green when they play us, because there's something about that green that Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker, he wasn't included tonight, but last time we played Boston too, Kemba Walker went off. So listen, this would be a tremendous, tremendous series if we was to ever meet these guys in the playoffs. This would be, like I told my chat, the Hawks and the Knicks is past tense. It's always going to be a rivalry because they bumped us out of the playoffs. But for 2021-2022 season, the Knicks in Boston is the rivalry right now, and this is where it's at, and it's amazing to watch.
I always told you my first two rivalries is Boston and obviously Brooklyn because of the divisional rivalry and the crosstown rivalry. But let me just say to you, I mean, Boston has always been history there in Boston, always playoffs and things to that nature. Even back in the Larry Bird days back then when we didn't have such a team. But even when we had you and these guys, it was always a competitive to each other. Either if the team was bad or not so good, there's a special edge when a New York team plays Boston. Even football when the Jets play New England, and in hockey, Boston Bruins and the Rangers and so forth and so on. There's always some kind of great atmosphere
And the Giants and Patriots, baby, in past tense. We already know.
That's correct. When we beat them twice. Yeah, so that was effective. But look, let's go over some points here because if you look at the Knicks' first quarter, the Knicks only had 18 points in that first quarter. It was probably one of the first worst quarters I've seen the Knicks play defensively and offensively. And then they upped it up. They scored 29, but they gave up 38 to Boston. So where they were down at halftime, I think they were down by 11 or 9, or I think it was 7 or 9. They came back and made a push toward the end. But look at the second half. They kept Boston twice in the third and fourth quarter, 21 points apiece, while we scored 29 in that 30. I'm sorry, in that third quarter, and we scored 31 in that fourth quarter. See, that's where the Knicks made the push, and it all had to do with Fournier and then Barrett, and then obviously quickly, and we can't forget the man who stirs the drink, Randle. Randle willed himself. He willed himself because the Knicks were afraid to
Psychological
score
stuff.
because this guy had 7 block shots. The two Williams brothers, one had 7, okay, and the other one had he had 2, so they had a total of 9 block shots. And Tatum had 1, so that scored a total of 10 block shots. Because Barrett was trying to bully away like he bullied his way in the last game against the Pacers, but Williams the third said, "No, not on my side of the court." He was effective with his defense and gave the Knicks a lot of trouble. So the Knicks had to find other ways from scoring, except going to the inside. And I'm glad that that quickly decided to come off the bench and ignite that Knicks bench because he's the only person who ignited that that bench because everybody else was Gibson at 6, Grimes in the 6 minutes he didn't had no points, and Topping in the 10 minutes had. Obi didn't go out there. I mean, he got some offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds, but he didn't go out there in 10 minutes of play. So I think maybe his injury, and we don't make excuses for that, his injury is hurting more than he's saying or whatever the case may be. But besides, look, if our starting unit plays the way they play tonight, if you get Fournier and Randle combining the 63 points, and then you trickle in another 13 points from Barrett, and you have your bench scoring more than 20 points, the Knicks are gonna do some damage. But the only thing we have to start looking for is that consistency, Juby. If we can have that consistency, the Knicks are gonna make a run for this, and I think the Knicks can, spring themselves up to that 4th seed, 3rd seed we're looking for. But we have a lot of competition ahead of us. We have a lot of work ahead of us, and let's not talk about trades anymore at this point. This is the team that's going to be here. Unless something blows us out of the water, this Knicks team is what you see is what you get. We may trickle in a point guard like we did last year with the Rose, but in terms of trading our top players, that's not going to happen.
Well, let me tell you, before this game started tonight, I was on the articles this morning. I was researching, and I saw so many rumors. And like I said, we're not going to get into it, but crazy stuff, man. Packaging and players that we're interested in. And, of course, the Damian Lillard thing is back and who they want and what they would want. But listen, right now, we don't even have Derrick Rose, Nerlens Noel, McBride. And Obi McBride is another one who was icing his back today. So there's a bug going around in the Knicks locker room that they're keeping on the wraps. Obi and McBride and everything, but Noel still not there. He's cleared from COVID protocol, but he's still injured. And Derrick Rose is out until mid-February. And just imagine when you get Derrick Rose back And if these guys can make a connection the way they're getting, it's fine. And Alex Burke, like you said, he had 3 points. He didn't need to score. He was the Alfred Payton of the Knicks tonight. He was defending. He was getting assists, and that's what Alfred Payton did for us last season. We didn't need him to score, and that's perfectly fine on nights like this. Now, if you have nights where Evan Fournier has 2 points, then there's going to be a problem when RJ Barrett is off and when Julius is off. But I think the fans and the media lit a fire. We lit a fire on the Julius Randle. And let me tell you, I think you're going to see a total different Julius Randle moving forward. I think he's had enough. I think what got him even more is when the media asked him, how do you feel that RJ Barrett's name was chanting? It's normally you're Mr. MVP, but RJ Barrett was being chanted. How does it feel that the torch is kind of being passed to him? And he sat there and was like, listen, I'll cheer for my teammate. I'm always going to be happy for anybody who does well. But as for me, as long as my coach and as long as my staff and my teammates know what I bring and what I give to this city, I don't give a F what the media and what the fans think of me. I love the fans, but I'm here to let you know I play and I breathe and sweat this game. And listen, he showed it. He showed it tonight. He came back. He's been playing.
In the second half, he did.
Yeah.
First half, he was asleep with Barrett. The only person who was keeping us alive was Fournier.
He was feeding the ball to Fournier in that first quarter, and I noticed that because he didn't shoot the ball until like I think he was 0 for 1, and it was already like 6 minutes to go in the first quarter, and he really wasn't shooting. He was just feeding that ball to Evan Fournier because he knew that Evan Fournier had the touch tonight. So salute to him for understanding that, and it's showing you that mentally he is growing. And this is what me and you have been speaking about all season. We were saying that it's not Randall's tools, his skills. It's his psychological value of the way he sees the game and has to understand when it's his time to do it and when it's his time to pass. And it's showing right now, as of right now, today, January 6th, Julius Randle has got the bag together right now.
Yeah, you said it. It's the mental side of him that worries me, not his physical gifts that he has or his talent, because the talent and the physical gift is there. It's just the mental part of the game. He tends to have lapses, but if you can improve that aspect of the game, like you mentioned, he can be that rising star that we saw from last year. And I think the second half, or since starting this game, even the game before, I think he's starting to understand that, and I'm glad that he bounced back in that second half because we needed him. Every point that he got, we needed it. Or that bully ball pushing, even he was pushing this guy to the side, Williams, because Williams was blocking shots. He bullied him that he made two guys collide on the floor. He didn't care. He was willed to get the basket. The only thing I'm still concerned is that Knicks shot 66% from the free throw line. They were 10 for 15. Where the Knicks won the game was at the 3-point range. It's not 50% from the 3-point range, and that has to do with Evan Fournier. And Boston shot 37. So between the 3-point range and the rebounds, we out-rebounded them 42-38 because Burks got 9 rebounds. Julius got his 9-10 rebounds. Barrett's got his rebounds. Fournier had a few rebounds. Everybody collectively as a unit. Mitchell Robinson had some big rebounds as well. Points in the paint was even, 32-32. They had a 25-point lead, the biggest lead of their lead of the game. And the Knicks' biggest lead was 3, and that 3 was the ending of the game. 108-105. What a game this evening. They had 10 total block shots. The Knicks only had 1. They had 13 turnovers. Boston, we only had 11. We had 18 points out of their 13 turnovers, and they had 17 out of their 11. We had 7 fast break points. They had 12. And points in the paint was 32-32, even up. So it showed the Knicks defense came to play. And I'm telling you, Burks has a lot to do with it. And even when Grimes was in, and even Fournier, he impressed me tonight. Wasn't the greatest defensive game, but he was good. He was solid, let's put it that way. And the whole Knicks team collectively came together, and this was a team collective win. But Fournier took the show because if it wasn't for Fournier's points, someone else had to get him, and Burks was not going to do it tonight. And quickly, I think maybe give him a couple more minutes, he was hot at one point. So look, this trio that we have here that we talk about, people want to trade Barrett, people want to trade Randall, people want to trade Fournier. Fournier just got here. Give the guy time to blend in, and I'm telling you, he's gonna have more games like this. But collectively, Randall and Barrett, they all have to come together. Once again, I see this Knicks team moving forward and having many victories ahead. This game will take them to where they want to go. I think the last two games, the Knicks played their best basketball.
Well, two interesting things. We're one game out of being 500, a 500 team. We're 19-20 after this game. And I don't know if you knew this stat, Ray. We are second in defense in the NBA in the last 11 games.
Wow.
So this was an interesting stat that I heard that Stan Van Gundy and the other commentator, I'm sorry, the name is slipping my hand tonight, during the broadcast on TNT, they specifically said the Knicks were the last 10 games second in defense. So something is clicking defensively. We may not see it, but from going from, it's like night and day. They're going from being one of the worst at the beginning of the season because defensive, well, they weren't doing anything. And they're second in the NBA right now. I don't know how that's possible. But I guess little by little things are coming along together. And like I said, just imagine when we get all our pieces, because right now the boat is going in one motion. Everybody's making the boat work, but you need everybody in the same motion. So Derrick Rose is not there right now. Nerlens Noel is not there right now. Once you add those guys, this
Right.
team, and oh my God, it's a beautiful thing to see. And like you said, there might be a small move. Remember, we just signed that point guard that used to be with Chicago, which is funny. Which is funny that they signed him because the guy has a sore ankle and he signed with us. He's just on the injured list. So the Knicks signed the injured point guard who's on the injured list right now. But he's probably going to stick with us for the rest of the season as an insurance piece just in case. But I do see something else, small maybe happening, nothing tremendously big, unless Portland calls us, like you said, or something crazy out of that blows us out of the water. But right now, I like what I see. Things are coming together. The guys are starting to gel, if you will. RJ Barrett is finally developing his identity as being a go-to guy, not just letting the game come to him. He's actually taking charge and asserting himself. Was doing a little bit too much tonight. He was trying to, like you said, play bully ball and drive the ball into the paint. But Williams didn't want to hear nothing of that and was just blocking. The majority of his 7 blocks were on R.J. Barrett tonight with him trying to drive the ball in. But I still love that R.J. Barrett didn't give up and he still tried to take the ball to the rack. Um,
Right.
do I want Alex Burke to continue being my starting point guard? Maybe just until Derrick Rose or Kem. I don't even want to mention Walker's name. I don't even know, man. That's still
Listen,
that. that
we have to go about what happened with him in his last game. He effectively was scoring and was passing the ball, 9 assists, things of that nature. Look, right now we're gonna live and die with Kemba until his knees give out. Right now, having quickly coming off the bench and having Burks doing his thing, I think right now this is Thibodeau's lineup because he feels comfortable with it. So let's see what happens. Right now, unless we get some major upgrade in the point guard situation, I think you're gonna live and die with Kemba until his knees give out.
and
And
until
when they
Derrick
get
Rose comes back.
out, yeah, oh, right. Derrick Rose will come off the bench, obviously. Still, it's going to go back normal. It's going to make the team even better. So right now, look, if you look, Tatum had a great game. He had 36 points. He was 6-6 from free throw line. Robert,
And he didn't start. That's the funny thing. Jason Tatum came off the bench.
yeah, 'cause he's coming off COVID safety protocol, and it's the second game back. So I think maybe they just wanted to make sure he was okay. Look, you look at the Knicks, the way they played tonight. They were down by 25 points now. So for the Knicks to resiliently to come back and say we're still in the game, we're still in the game, and like I said, Tatum 36 points, Brown has 16, Smart, which I like as a player, he plays great defense, had 14, and Schroeder off the bench with 20 points.
He was on
The Knicks,
fire in that for that
the Knicks
game.
could have easily lost this game, but no, the Knicks will this game at the end with Barrett and Randall. Yes, Fournier had a lot of the points to keep him in the game, but at the end, it was Barrett and Randall. That combination we spoke about when they beat the Pacers, when they had 62 points combined with each other. These guys have to keep at it. And let me tell you about Nick Nation and myself and yourself, we're all included in this, that we tend not to be patient. So look, I have money in the stock market. It's not stock market has plunged because of the financial uncertainty and the taxes going up and inflation rising and things to that nature. But the key to any kind of in basketball, including an investment, you have to be patient and let your investments grow for long term if that's what you're there for. So look, I'm been in crypto and my things have gone down, but I'm staying patient because this is like a 5-year plan, 3 to 5 year plan. Let this patience kind of go into our Nick Nation because I know it's apples and oranges when it comes about stock market and the Knicks, but patience is something that New Yorkers don't have, and we need to be patient. That we have Leon Rose and the organization, Wesley West there, and Thibodeau. Let these guys work their magic. Let the big guys behind the scenes find something to make this team better. But right now, Fournier is not going nowhere. Randall's not going nowhere. I don't think no one in the starting unit is going anywhere. We may add addition players, maybe have some subtraction of players we're not using, but I see the Knicks staying with this formula. So whatever we get from this team, which is I see a lot of good things in his last couple of games, New Yorkers, Nick Nation, patience is the key, even though we don't have much of it.
As long as it doesn't have to do with tanking and building through the draft anymore, I'm all about patience. I'm just done waiting and talking about lottery and all that stuff. Respectfully, I think I speak for every Knick fan for the last I don't know how many years. I'm done looking for players from the draft and hoping. I want to. If we're gonna stick with these young crew, let's go forward. Let's go with them. I don't mind staying with them. They're doing great. I love them. I just don't want to hear that we're gonna be patient and we're gonna get a lottery pick and next year we're gonna draft somebody good and this guy's coming out of Kentucky or UConn. I'm done. I don't want to hear about that stuff anymore. I just want to work with what we have, move forward, and build this brand that once was a dynasty. And that's it for me.
Yeah, it's not gonna go. It's not gonna happen overnight. That's the patient part of it. Look, this year our main goal is we lost that first round of the playoffs. Okay, is now to get past that first round and compete for that second round. That's our goal this year. You
Or,
know,
or,
if
or
if,
instead of one
if
game, win 2 games.
oh well, if that happens, we don't. There still is a failure of a season because you didn't accomplish it. But at least go 5 games or 7 games to that first series, and then go into that second round. Or if not, you come next year and you kind of make things happen. But I think this
Facts,
team is
facts.
talented enough, man. I think the Knicks are talented enough to get to that first round game, win it, and get to that second rounder. That's the
Hey,
accomplishment.
we got a Nick fan. Big task, Ethan. Let's go. That's right, baby. Let's go. Nick's pride. Bing bong. You already know, baby. Evan Fournier, Mr. Fresh Prince 2.0, came through tonight. And RJ Barrett, Mr. Broadway himself, hit that shot. And man, what a great feeling, man. Appreciate you coming in and showing some love. Much appreciated. They hate it. Listen, if Knicks could play Boston every single night, man, why not? I wish. If they come with this energy every single night, me and Zenray would come on here and be ecstatic and be excited to do a show every single night. We're competing with, like I said, a lot of other guys out there, but we love what we do, and even if it's just one or two guys that we could get our messages and our little information that we give out, we just have a good time. We laugh, we joke, and that's what it's about, man.
I agree, man. So I'm glad you have some enthusiastic Nick fans there, man. I think the Nick Nation should be proud. The last couple of games we played, I think we're looking forward to more victories ahead. We're playing Boston at Boston this time, so we're taking a little travel trip down to their territory.
It's gonna
I'm
be
looking for another
tough.
victory, and I'm looking for Evan Fournier, Randall, and Barrett to light it up in that starting lineup.
Kemba, do you think we'll have a Kemba sighting on Saturday?
I don't think so, man. I think he's not due to come back for another 2 or 3 games. So
Hmm.
I don't expect him to be on it. He may dress. I don't know if he's gonna play, But let's see. Let's hope for the best, man. Right now, I think the formula that we have, without having our 2 point guards in Kemba and Rose, I think we're ready. We're ready for war, man. So, Juby, I don't know if you have anything to say. I'll see you on Saturday, the post game show after the Knicks versus Boston
Yes,
at
sir.
Boston Garden. I'm looking forward for another victory. I want to thank you and your nation of Family Above Everything and everybody who's hosting your show in the background there, who's getting involved. Wishing him the best, and is like once again his new year coming up, and it's a fresh year for Nick Nation. So we're starting off fresh in the new year, which is always a good thing, Juby. So with that said, Juby, let the universe enlighten you and everyone watching from Nick Nation, knowing that the best is yet to come. With love, peace, and gratitude. Thank you, Juby. Have a good night.
Thank you, my brother. Have a great night, everybody out in Zenray Sports TV. Appreciate you guys. Be safe, and as always, family above everything. You already know.
You got it. Zenray out, sir. Thank you.
Later, brother. Good night, man. All right, guys, that was Zenray from Zenray Sports TV. My partner, great show, great guy. Like I said, RJ Barrett, Mr. Broadway, hit that shot himself. We came through in the clutch. Mr. Fresh Prince 2.0, 40 plus points tonight. RJ Barrett hit that. Mr. Broadway, Julius Randle, showing why he's the man who stirs the drinks. So we got Boston on Saturday for a rematch, but this time we head down to Boston. Hopefully they can come with that same energy that they came through tonight, and we'll see what happened, guys. So I want you guys to enjoy your Friday. Be safe. It's supposed to be a little bit of a snow, but that's all right because for us tonight is orange and blue skies. Nothing but that. And as always, remember, family above everything, guys. Stay safe. Peace.
We are the New York Knicks. 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 Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. We're back on track, here we come. League is done in 21 and the Knicks are on a run. And I'll tell you with tips, we have bit too much to handle. With Barrett, Bullock, Burke, and Randall, it's a Knicks and we're taking back our place. Everyone's gearing up with a mask on the face. The Garden's going crazy and they're doing it for a reason. This 21 is the Knickerbocker season. You better believe the Knicks got all that it takes. We shooting 3-pointers and we're running fast breaks. If your defense makes a mistake, then bam! Robbie dunks in your face. This is a team you don't wanna miss. We are New York. We are the New York Knicks. Go New York, go New York, go!